Hello and welcome to Nice and Blunt. I don't know what was going on about a half hour ago with the technical issues. OBS was just really weird on me, so apologies if you were sticking around while that thing didn't launch. But we're live now. Everything's good, and we're just gonna hop in to a best ball tournament. Actually, no, I'm not gonna do a tournament. Scratch that. Given how weird today is going, not just this, but just some other random other things, I'm not going to put too much money on the line. And there is a $3 tournament with looks like 4 spots open. So shouldn't be like a massive wait. And we're not going to gamble too much today. I also feel like these 12-person leagues are really the best place to have a solid return on investment. Like in the tournaments, you got to finish top 2 out of 12 just to like barely get your money back. Here, you got to finish top 3 to get your money back. And if you do finish first, you turn $3 into 20. So it's much easier to make your money back in these smaller leagues here. And also, I feel like for the sake of like prepping for your season long league, your redraft format, this is a lot more closer. This is a lot closer to what you should be doing in terms of strategy. Like it's not as critical to have a stack, and you're obviously shaping your team as best as possible, but you're really just competing against the other 11 teams in this bubble. You're not worried about the thousands of other people in the tournament setting. So we're still waiting on 4 spots. Hopefully this doesn't take too long. But if you do want to join us, you can enter on Underdog yourself. You can use my code Nice and Blunt and get your first deposit matched up to 50%. I believe it's up to $250, guaranteed 50% match. And, you know, looks like we have 3 spots now. This should fill soon. But Jonathan, what's up, man? Happy to see you. All of my settings got rearranged, so I'm gonna fix this comment situation. Yeah, it's like, whoa, this thing is huge, huge. But okay, the room is full, and the draft will be underway very soon. But yeah, it's almost Fourth of July. You got any fireworks? You got any plans, buddy? What's going on? I think that's more in focus. Hold on, give me just a second while I get myself in focus. Super zoomed in, sorry. OBS really messed with like all all of my settings on this thing. I had to rearrange everything. That's why it took so long to like the delay for this live stream to get going was like kind of severe. But the wife doesn't support me blowing up my money. That's fair. You know, they have the public. Okay, here we go. Yeah. Now I'm just all jumbled up at the moment. Just so many technical issues. But that's fair, you know. Sometimes they can get expensive and sometimes risky. Like you could be the next Jason Pierre-Paul walking around with 8 fingers in the club. But honestly, I have like a really good view of the city. I live on a hill here in LA, and sometimes I just post up and at night like I just watch other people. I don't know what it's like in Seattle. Or you're from Washington. I don't know if you're specifically from Seattle. Um, but here in LA, at least my neighborhood, like fireworks go crazy. People really go wild with that shit. So you get your own show without having to pay for it here where I live. But I'm definitely gonna go Brees Hall at pick 8, my running back 2 this year. And while it is a little bit difficult in Underdog to fill out the wide receiver position when you go RB round 1, we're gonna go hero running back strategy. I think that's the way to go when you take running back. We don't have to wait until round 8, the sweet spot, to grab RB2, and we're gonna still be pretty loaded if we get like 4 or 5 receivers in the next 5, 6 rounds. We'll be fine. We can make it work. Brees Hall is just so talented. Happy to have him, but look, I'll be honest with you, man. When I heard that story, I don't remember how young I was, but like I was flabbergasted. Like I feel like it was only like a couple years after um the name is escaping me, but the Giants, remember they had a receiver that shot himself? And it was like, "What the fuck?" And then JPP blew up his hand. Just there's some wild ass stories out of like off-season player news in the NFL. Like so much crazy shit happens. And that's definitely one of the higher things on the list in terms of crazy events. Blowing up your hand. We're gonna go Brandon Ayuk. Yeah, Plaxico Burress shot himself in the club, right? It wasn't like in a oh god, that would be such a terrible moment. Like you think you're a badass, you're walking around with a piece, and next thing you know, you just shoot yourself in the thigh on the way to the emergency room. I remember Brian Robinson, he didn't shoot himself, but he got shot. I remember when I read it, it was like he got shot in the butt cheek. He was fine. He ran very well. He had a great rookie season, but just the fact that it was also the butt cheek. So many weird ass stories. I wonder what's gonna happen this offseason. There's bound to be something. Like we had the Rashee Rice news. It's weird situation with Ayuk, who we drafted here, but so far no like odd injuries. No one's been maimed yet. It's inevitable. Someone's gonna mess it up. Naheem Hines had that Sea-Doo incident. He got injured on a jet ski. I shouldn't laugh at people's injuries, but it's it's crazy. Makes me miss Antonio Brown. Have you seen Antonio Brown's like recent tweets, like when he hashtags CTESPN? That shit's crazy, man. He's hilarious. He's very problematic, but holy shit. To boast CTESPN, his comments about the WNBA just had me cracking up. Like nobody in the media would be willing to actually say that type of shit. Oh boy. I'm probably gonna get myself canceled with what I've said in this live stream so far, but I don't care. Anyways, what's going on in this lobby so far? Pretty typical. We see Adams go a little bit high, pick 15. I'm not in love with Adams' price this season. If he was going around 3, I'd feel like I'd be a lot more on board. But I'd much rather have some players going later than him. Like Nico, I think he's in a way better offense, higher upside. Mike Evans, I think, is way safer for touchdowns. That's really the only thing that scares me with Adams. The volume should be there. Production kind of fell down last season, but touchdowns in Vegas gonna be hard to come by. I think he he has issues, man. He's got issues. Maybe he does have CTE. I wouldn't be surprised. That hit he took from Vontez Burfict in the playoffs. Remember that Bengals knock to the head? That shit was hard to watch. I remember when it happened, and yikes. that shit was a bit rough to see. But I don't feel great about this. I hate receiver here, man. I'm just gonna grab Josh Allen. Like, you really just can't go wrong. You've got 8 picks coming back around. I might regret this. I might get boxed out of receiver here, but when it's in a 12-team league like this, I'm willing to take some chances, and having the QB1, I'm never going to hate that strategy, but we are a little bit behind the 8 ball at receiver already. The only one other than team 1 to have 1 receiver the first 3 rounds, but he's never been the same since. No, he hasn't. That was the turning point of his career. And I feel like he played the next week. Like, that would never happen today. They've changed those concussion protocols by a wide margin. That would never happen. That was an ugly tackle. It was like he was midair and like launched straight into the head. That one was hard to watch. But we'll be back on the clock, and I'm targeting George Pickens. I hope I can get George Pickens. Running back kind of went a little bit of a high premium in round 3. Henry 26, Kyron 27, ETN 36. A little more of a premium on running back in this lobby so far. So gladly we have Breece Hall. That's something to keep in mind. But receiver is really the position we need to catch up on. And I'm starting to really love George Pickens. Maybe I get sniped here. I'd be pissed if I got sniped. But looking at George Pickens' stats, last season, the 4 games that he played without Deontay Johnson early in the season, and this was with Kenny Pickett. We assume the quarterback situation's a little bit better with Russell Wilson. He was averaging 13.6 fantasy points per game. Those are top 20 numbers. There's some true upside with George Pickens because the volume's going to be there. I'm really starting to like George Pickens' value in round 4. I remember a month or 2 ago, he was going like pick 50. I wish I was drafting him like crazy back when that was the case. But yeah, George Pickens, I think, is in the same tier as guys like Pittman, Stephon Diggs, Zay Flowers, Tank Dell. And he's going much later. Maybe not a crazy amount later. But I think once Malik Neighbors, Cooper Kupp, Devontae Smith are off the board, like, if you're not getting DJ Moore, and even DJ Moore kind of scares me a little bit, all of these receivers are the same through George Pickens and Amari Cooper. So just to grab the best quarterback there, not upset with it. If I have a chance to grab Kincaid at 56, I'm definitely going to take him to stack up with Josh Allen. I think Kincaid is absolutely going to smash in round 5, but I think it's just so critical I take receiver with at least 2 of my next 3 picks, and I know I can sometimes get boxed out at pick 80, so I'll probably just grab receiver in rounds 5, 6. That feels like the plan. But Jalen Hurts keeps falling, this time to pick 46. Such a good value. I definitely would rather have Jalen Hurts than Lamar this season. Mahomes could possibly return to top 1 status, but I think Hurts is safer for sure. We see Richardson go 49, so people want taking their shots at QB, but pick 1, Kind of a tough strategy with only one receiver through this point. Kincaid goes, so yeah, we don't even have that option. I'd be open to Mark Andrews, but I might be in a hole if I do take him. We'll see what happens. I should probably be doing more of these like $3 12-person leagues. Whenever I do them, I get a much higher return on investment. Oh wow. So I could go Mark Andrews, but Terry falls to us. I don't have a lot of Terry this season. I feel like Mark Andrews is possibly better. Yeah, shit. No, I'm gonna take Terry. He falls. What is this? 8 picks. Yeah, I'll just take Terry. We already got our premium non-receiver with Allen. Oh shit! I might let him fall to the Lamar Jackson team. Damn it. Yeah, I might have fucked up. Wow. Team 11 with Flowers, Lamar, and Andrews. That's really nice. But really interesting to see Xavier Worthy go 55. It is stacked up with Mahomes, but kind of wild. Team 12 setting themselves up with the Falcon stack. Go London, Pitts. Maybe I should have taken Andrews. But we're coming back around. And we'll be getting one of these 3 receivers. Good value on Ridley, but honestly, I don't really want Ridley. Wow, running back is going off the board high. Hmm. I think I'd rather have Rome, even Addison, over Ridley. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna grab Roma Dunze. I'm a big fan of Rome, even this year. I think he could be the most valuable receiver in Chicago. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but so talented. Keenan, older player, scares me in a new offense. And I don't think DJ Moore has like any guaranteed like true wide receiver 1 status like promised to him. We're going to find out a lot more in training camp, and Hard Knocks is in Chicago. So there's a chance that Odunze's value like skyrockets with all of that hype. But oh wow, Deontay Johnson goes 68. I was kind of hoping that Deontay Johnson would be back around. I'm starting to like Deontay Johnson a lot more in Carolina just because Adam Thielen was so productive last year. There was so much value for Thielen, and they traded for Deontay. Canales knows how to use the receiver position, really revitalizes quarterbacks. I mean, he made Geno Smith and Baker Mayfield a thing again in the NFL. He could fix Bryce Young, but even if he doesn't, last year Thielen was just so good. He was like a top 12 receiver first 2 months of the year. He did fall off a cliff once Frank Reich got fired, but we expected that given his age. Deontay Johnson has seen a ton of targets, and you know they're going to be in pass first mode. They're going to be heavily throwing the ball. If Kittle falls to me, I'll take him, but these next two teams do not have a tight end. Yeah, he goes. Okay. Since I have Josh Allen, we will get the Keon Coleman stack. We'll pair him with Keon Coleman. I'm hopeful for this receiving core, but kind of wish I went with Andrews over Terry. That's probably the only thing I would change. Not bad. But so far, our team has Brees Hall as the RB1, Josh Allen as our quarterback, and we have 5 receivers: Brandon Ayuk, George Pickens, Terry McLaurin, Rome Odunze, Keon Coleman. Not bad. Not bad at all. But expecting to go with running back coming back around. Could go Zach Moss. Definitely my favorite running back of this grouping. That's probably where I'm going to go. Moss is my favorite option. And if you saw the video I posted earlier today, I do have him ranked as a top 20 running back. The only player who is still on the board that I have ranked inside my top 20. He was just so good for the Colts last year. Meanwhile, Chase Brown didn't do anything that makes me trust him. We need running back. We kind of also need tight end, but I don't think anyone is in the same tier as Moss. And if they are, I still view Moss the highest. Yeah, I'm not going to risk it. I'm just going to grab my RB2 and Zach Moss. So we have Josh Allen, Brees Hall, Zach Moss, Ayuk, Pickens, McLaurin, Odunze, and Keon Coleman. Couple rookies with upside. Ferguson goes pick 92. Oh, team 1 is wow, really interesting strategy. They doubled up on tight end. That's one of the reasons why tight end is drying up. Okay. Good to know. You can't see her because she's out of frame. She's at the bottom, but my cat is laying down on my desk here. Don't know if you could hear her meowing right there. Khalil Shakir, pick 96. Whoa. That is why you do not avoid the receiver position on underdog, especially at pick one, to only grab one receiver through the first 5 rounds. Go McConkey and then tight end 2 at pick 7 in round 7. You wind up having to reach on Khalil Shakir as your wide receiver 3. Then they go Caleb Williams. What the fuck is Team 1 doing? I do not like Team 1's strategy at all. 2 QBs, 2 tight ends, 2 running backs, and only 3 receivers, one of which is Khalil Shakir. Whoa. Hate it. Now she's in frame. Now she's getting some screen time. Jameson Williams plummeting like a rock in this format. Goes at pick 83. We're already past pick 100, and he's still on the board. I kind of wanted Brock Bowers there. I don't think I'm going to reach on running back. I think I'm just going to hope for a good one to still come back around to me. Njoku or Jameson? I'm going to ignore tight end, actually. I'm going to grab Jameson Williams. Pick 104. 20 picks past ADP. This is the price where I think he should be going. In the tier of Khalil Shakir, Rashid Shaheed. I think that's a lot more fair than taking him like above Cortland Sutton, above running backs like Zach Moss, Najee Harris. He goes in round 7 now. And that's just way overpriced. So we get a 20 pick discount on Jameson Williams. I'll take it. What are my thoughts on Caleb Williams in redraft this year? I think there might be some growing pains. I think there are some losses on the slate for Chicago, and there's probably going to be some turnovers. However, he is mobile. He does run it, and he has one of the best wide receiver cores in the NFL. It's hard to find one that's leaps and bounds better than DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Rome Odunze, and also some good tight ends in terms of Cole Kmet. He also has Gerald Everett as another weapon there. We know Swift catches passes. We know Roshan is good in pass protection, also catches passes. Even Khalil Herbert's not that bad and is kind of versatile. I think their offense is going to be really good. And when you put in context like where he's going, I think it's a little bit high. I think I prefer Brock Purdy straight up. But there aren't that many quarterbacks. I do have him ranked over Trevor Lawrence, Tua. I view him kind of similar to Goff. So the fact that you can get some of those players much later is why I'm not like chomping at the bit to draft him. But I do think in redraft, if he's one of your top 2 quarterbacks, you're in good shape. If he's your starting QB, I'd like to have a pretty good backup. Like, I don't feel like you're going to be safe with him as your only guy. And then like if you wait super late, like for let's say Geno Smith, hypothetically, as your QB2, I think that is kind of risky. But I think he's going to have some upside. I think in year 2, he's going to be phenomenal. But I do think he's valuable even in redraft. Just might not be like tremendous early on. But his schedule is actually kind of easy early in the season. And now that we're on the clock, I'm going to grab my highest ranked running back here in Brian Robinson. I think there's a lot of touchdowns in line for Brian Robinson. In the Cliff Kingsbury offense, I don't worry about Austin Eckler. I do not think Jaden Daniels profiles as like a heavy goal line Rusher. Yeah, Jaden Daniels is good at running the ball, but I don't think they're going to risk it too much with him on the goal line. I think Brian Robinson is their goal line back, and they're going to be running a shit ton of plays. So there's a possible James Conner type of role for Brian Robinson. If you recall, James Conner's first year in Arizona with Kingsbury, he put up 18 total touchdowns. I don't know if I'd expect that many for B Rob, but I think 12 plus is possible. Um, at least 8. I think that's guaranteed. If I recall, he scored 9 touchdowns last year, and I think Brian Robinson in round 10 is a good pick. He is a top 30 running back for me. But just final note on Caleb Williams. Don't forget about his mobility. Caleb Williams offers good rushing upside. I do think Jaden Daniels has a higher ceiling in year one. I do think the fact that they go kind of back to back, I wind up taking Jaden Daniels a little bit more than Caleb Williams, but only because you don't have to stack up Jaden Daniels. I don't hate Caleb though. Caleb's fine. Wow, Team 1 reaching on Jalen Polk, pick 121. Whew. Getting desperate. But so far, I feel pretty good about our team. We have Josh Allen at QB. Definitely the best one. Breece Hall, Zach Moss, Brian Robinson. Feel pretty safe with those 3. And then at wide receiver, we have 6 of them. And there's definitely some upside. We got a great value on both Terry McLaurin and Jamison Williams. And I feel comfortable enough with who I have. But maybe I get Mike Williams here. I think I'm going to take Mike Williams. Falls to me. Pick 128. 10 spots. And I don't love him in redraft, but I don't like these running backs here. I'm not dying to grab Chase Brown when I'm very confident in Zach Moss. I'm going to take the best value. I'm going to grab Mike Williams. A boom bust option as well. Mike Williams, let's hope he stays healthy. He could miss 10 games again, but when he does play well, sometimes he disappears. Yeah, sometimes he has games with like 2 points, but in best ball, who the fuck cares? A lot of times he has games with 20, 25 points, and if Rodgers is healthy, that will happen a few times with Mike Williams, the clear wide receiver 2 in the Jets offense. Talented player I've believed in the past. My wide receiver 7. So I've got a good group. Never a reach when it's your boy Polk. I mean, sometimes it can be a reach. Sometimes. But where is he going now? Is it a justified reach? I feel like he's still going in round 12. Or round 13. When Team 1 would still be on the clock. Show me his ADP. Jalen Polk has risen to pick 139. And Team 1 was going to be on the clock at 144. So that's 18 spots. When you're at the bookend, it's the only time that you can make a massive reach. But yeah, it's maybe not the best way to go. I would have loved Pat Freiermuth here. We are kind of boxed out of tight end now. I don't feel great about it. But we have so many receivers. I'm not like dying to grab my 8th right now. I'm going to take a shot on Rico Dowdle. Maybe the Cowboys backfield is effective. And Zeke does not have like a massive contract. Maybe Dowdle's the one you want. Gonna go with Dowdle. Fuck it. Let's hope for the best. Yeah, receiver has not been like as heavily pushed up in this draft. We get good values on Terry, Jameson, Mike Williams. And now I definitely regret passing on Mark Andrews. Also knowing he went to the team that has Lamar at 59. Should have grabbed Mark Andrews at 56. Well, I could have. We get sniped on Bowers. We don't get Fryermuth. We'll be piecing it together with later options. Don't love it, but it is what it is. So this is our team so far. Josh Allen, Breece Hall, Zach Moss, Brian Robinson, Rico Dowdle, Brandon Ayuk, George Pickens, Terry McLaurin, Rome Odunze, Keon Coleman, Jamison Williams, Mike Williams. Couple of Williams. Well past ADP. But I have 2 Jets. I think I'm in line for an Aaron Rodgers stack. However, he's also week 12. No, I don't need to stack. In this format, I don't need to stack. Team 1 goes Demario Douglas, Troy Franklin. Whew. High-priced options. Not ones I'm excited for. Would definitely prefer some other players going well above them in the ADP. Team 1 scares me. Not in a good way. Not fearing Team 1, honestly. But maybe I go Cole Kmet. I don't love it. But he was really good last season. Kmet, 2 years in a row, has put up decent numbers. Touchdowns. He's a sneaky touchdown option, actually. It's a good contract. Just worried about all of the other weapons around him. But Jonathan has to head out. Appreciate it, man. I will not be losing any fingers. Thank you. I mean, knock on wood. I really hope I don't, but at least not from fireworks, that's for sure. You too as well. You too, man. Take care. But yeah, I need tight end super bad. I'm going to grab Cole Kmet. Cole Kmet. Let's hope for the best. Maybe one of those receivers gets hurt. I wouldn't be shocked if Keenan Allen at age 33. Pretty sure he's 33. Let me double check that. He's either 32 or 33. Just turned 32. Okay, so I was overselling it just a little bit, but still, that's not young. Definitely not young. Who knows? He's missed how many games over the last 2 seasons? He missed 4 games last year. He missed 7 games the year prior. Missed a game in 2021 as well. So that's 12 games over the last 3 seasons, 11 over the last 2. Wouldn't shock me. That's kind of the story I think this team kind of needs in order for the Odunze Kmet pairing to really work out. I think DJ Moore needs to have a down season after last year, not score as many touchdowns. When he played with like good weapons around him, like if you look at all of his numbers with like Christian McCaffrey on the Panthers, he never scored more than 4 touchdowns. It was only once Christian McCaffrey got traded that he started to score some touchdowns. And last season, obviously, he was like the only weapon other than Kmet in Chicago. So I could get a really good value on Pearsall, but I kind of need running backs a little bit more. Maybe not. Yeah, screw it. We'll go with Ricky Pearsall. Just a tremendous value. ADP 140. Got him at pick 161. And there were none of those running backs that really spoke to me. I do like Chuba Hubbard a little bit. He goes pick 162. But with the group I already have, I'm not like dying for production early in the season. And I only need 5 total with the group that I have. So it's really not a big deal to pass on Chuba Hubbard. I'm not going to cry about it. That's for sure. Tremendous value on Pearsall. Who knows? Maybe Deba goes down. Ayuk and Pearsall are the guys. You never know. But with 8, I'm probably done at receiver. We have Josh Allen, so only need one more. And it doesn't really matter who it is. As long as they don't have a week 12 bye, we're in good shape. Tight end is really the position I need the most. And I like Tyler Conklin a lot. I think Conklin is very undervalued in ADP. I'd much rather have him than Ben Sinnott. I think he's better than Cade Otton, not just from a floor standpoint, but I think his upside will be higher with Aaron Rodgers. Conklin, 3 straight years of 87 targets. I don't think that's changing. And he could possibly be more of a factor in this offense than Mike Williams. But from a yard standpoint, I think around 600 is guaranteed, but he scored 0 touchdowns last year. That will regress back to the mean. And I think 4 is probably guaranteed. That's what Cade Otton got you last year. And Cade Otton only put up 455 yards. So I definitely prefer Tyler Conklin. And you never know. There could be a Robert Tonyan-esque breakout in line for Tyler Conklin where he scores 9, 10, maybe even 11 touchdowns from Aaron Rodgers. Conklin is the tight end I'm targeting in this portion of the draft. I think once you miss out on Freiermuth, it's worth gambling on TJ Hawkinson sometimes, especially if he's your backup. Cole Kmet, I took him, but usually I'm not dying to take him. There's some potential, but kind of a crowded group there in Chicago. Musgrave, I think, scares me a lot. Hunter Henry has potential, but it's also New England. If the touchdowns don't hit for Henry, then he's not really going to pay off. And hopefully I don't get sniped. I could in the next 3 picks, but Conklin, I think, is the next highest option. Definitely in my rankings, the highest rated one. But more of a guarantee than Noah Fant by a wide margin, in my view. And we definitely need tight end here. So I'm going with Conklin. Already have 8 wide receivers. There are some decent values here, like Thielen falling 20 picks. Again, wide receiver does not have a big price tag on it in this lobby. Yeah, I'd feel a lot better about this team if I had Mark Andrews instead of Terry McLaurin, and then instead of Colt Kmet, we grabbed a receiver like maybe Jermaine Burton paired up with Ricky Pearsall. That was my big error in this draft, passing on Mark Andrews over Terry McLaurin. But Terry just fell, and he is listed higher in the ADP. I got a little caught up in the rankings. My bad. We're still going to grab one more tight end. We're possibly going to grab one more receiver. We'll see about that. We will definitely grab another running back and a quarterback. So the receiver is the luxury pick. We have 3 rounds left, 16, 17, 18. We are done at receiver. We're taking one more quarterback, one more wide receiver, and one more tight end. Not a receiver, a running back. Whoops. That's what I meant to say. Mitchell's interesting. But of all these like late round QBs, I don't think I have to stack anyone. So Russell Wilson is the only like stack available, and I don't want him. I'm gonna take a shot on Bryce Young here. Gamble that first overall pick 1 year ago has a breakout season. Definitely has the type of coach that can help him do that, and a far improved wide receiver core with the additions of Deontay Johnson and Xavier Legette. So we'll take Bryce Young. Thielen is still there, but they also have Jatavian Sanders. Jonathan Brooks catches passes. The offense should be better this year. I mean, it was so terrible last season. Only one way to go, but up. Let's hope for the best. But we're kind of coming up on the end of this draft. If you're watching, do me a favor, hit that like button. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe as well. I will go live 3 times a week, as I have been doing. And I also got some rankings videos up this week. Top 10 running backs, top 20 running backs. You can check that out on the channel after I'm done with the live stream. And yeah, subscribe, like the video, and check out more content. Ring that notification bell if you want updates. As soon as I post, as soon as I go live, you will know. But only 2 rounds left. We need a running back and a tight end. I've spoken in the past about how I'm very overweight on Isaac Guerendo, but proportionally I do not have anywhere near as much Elijah Mitchell. And according to reports, Mitchell is still the number 2 back. Let's read this news blurb on Elijah Mitchell. Mitchell remains the clear number 2 running back for San Francisco. David Lombardi of The Athletic reports. Lombardi notes that the Niners have a history of trading backup running backs, Matt Breida, Jeff Wilson, when they're happy with their depth at the position. That could be an option this summer, though it's not necessarily likely with Mitchell in the final year of his contract and a pair of rookies, 4th-round pick Isaac Guerendo, undrafted free agent Cody Schrader, getting work at minicamp. The Niners also have returning veteran Jordan Mason, but he's mostly played special teams and has never managed to move above Mitchell on the depth chart when Mitchell's been healthy. The long-term plan probably entails Guerendo taking over as the number 2 running back behind Christian McCaffrey, but Mitchell looks on track to handle the role again this season. And he goes off the board. So we're not taking him. I could handcuff Breece Hall with Braylon Allen, but I'd rather not do that. I'd rather gamble on somebody else. We've already made some bets on Chicago. I also have a lot of Roshan already, so I'm going to pass on Roshan. Dameon Pierce, not excited, but you know who I actually am starting to really talk myself into is Dylan Laube. I came so close to ranking Zamir White inside my top 20. If I had made that video about a month ago, I would have 100% put Zamir White in the top 20. But once I started looking into Dylan Laube, I just couldn't do it. And after my pick, I will go a little more in depth on that decision. But we need tight end. And I actually really like Hayden Hurst a lot. And I really don't imagine Laube being sniped from us. So I'm going to go... Actually, no, I'm not going to take any risks. I want Laube on my team. Let's grab Dylan Laube. And let's tell you about Laube. Head over to Player Profiler. I think he has a real shot to be involved in this offense. Not like insane metrics, runs a 4.5, 4.40. He's 5'10", 206, but that's respectable. That's not terrible compared to Zamir White. I don't feel like Zamir White's like crazy fast. Maybe I'm mistaken. Actually, Zamir White's pretty fast. 4.40, 6 foot, 214. Zamir White is definitely the RB1. I'm not gonna oversell Laube as like the clear guy. However, the role I see him absolutely taking on is as a pass catcher, because these are his college stats, and this is what I want you to take note of. 68 catches last year for New Hampshire for 699 yards, plus 49 receptions the year prior. And if you look at the last 2 seasons combined, like that is a total 117 catches. That's almost unheard of for rookie running backs out of college over a 2-year span. Like, that's insane. Those are wild numbers. I mean, yeah, he played for New Hampshire. It's not like a, you know, SEC school or anything, but still 117 catches over 2 years. I'm so impressed by that metric alone. But then you also factor in 33 touchdowns over 2 years as well. Pretty good in the run game as well. Almost 1,300 yards 2 years ago. Only played 10 games, but almost 800 yards in those games. Like, I think he's going to have a clear role as the backup, as the third down running back in Las Vegas. And I really don't see Zamir White catching many passes. Zamir White is not a good pass catcher. That's not what they drafted him to do. That is not his game. That's what James Cook was doing when the two of them, Zamir and James Cook, split that backfield in Georgia. So Dylan Laube, absolutely going to get on the field. And I do think he's better than Alexander Madison by a pretty big margin. I don't worry about Madison at all. And I'm starting to talk myself into a flyer on Laube in the end of the draft is worth it. But as our tight end 3, I'm going with Hayden Hurst, who got drafted by Baltimore, knows the system. The Greg Roman offense is what he came up in. Last year he played in Carolina, but he did get cut, and they drafted Jatavian Sanders after he suffered a concussion midseason. He had amnesia, and that's the only concern. But there's not like a ton of pass catchers that you really trust in LA. You know that the Ravens offense with Roman used tight end a lot. I think tight end is actually going to be an underrated aspect of this offense. And Will Dissly is a blocker. I think Parham has some concussion issues as well. He could be a problem in the red zone. Parham, I think it's worth filtering in, like mixing it up with Hayden Hurst and then Parham randomly. But the Chargers offense, I think, offers a lot of value. And Hayden Hurst going off an undrafted round 18 is one of my favorite clicks at the position at this point. So this is our roster in this 12-team league. We have the best quarterback, Josh Allen, and pretty decent backup in terms of Bryce Young. We're not expecting much from him, but if he outperforms last year by a wide margin, then we're going to get some value here. But at running back, we have Breece Hall, Zach Moss, Brian Robinson Jr., Rico Dowdle, hoping for a breakout from him. Who knows? Maybe it's a wasted pick, but worth a shot. And then Dylan Laube, round 17, but round 18 is fine to take him as well. I think the clear backup in Las Vegas. So that's our running back core. Wide receiver, we got some really good values overall. We have Ayuk, George Pickens, Terry McLaurin, Rome Odunze, Keon Coleman, Jamison Williams, Mike Williams, and Ricky Pearsall. McLaurin, 8 picks past ADP. We got Keon a little bit after ADP, but Jamison Williams, 20 picks past ADP. Mike Williams, 10 past ADP. And then Pearsall, 21 picks past ADP. So maybe it works out, but tight end is really what we're hoping is the difference. We got Kmet, Tyler Conklin, and Hayden Hurst. Decent trio. I'm not going to pretend like it's the best we could have done. We did pass on Mark Andrews in round 5, and as I said earlier, I think that was a mistake. That was the big mistake of this draft. But that's going to be it for this video. I appreciate y'all sticking around and watching it with me. If you're watching retroactively and you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. And I will see you on Friday with another live stream. And probably Friday morning, I'll post another running back rankings, most likely. I think that'll come out on Friday. But that's going to be it for me. My name is Adam Riancho. Thank you very much for watching Nice and Blunt, and enjoy your 4th of July tomorrow. Peace out.